Hello and welcome back once again to Learn Piano Live. I have no idea how much you just heard about Nano's new car that he's very excited about because he forgot to turn off his mic during the intro. So so they might have just gotten to know you very well, Nano. Hey. But you ready?
I'm ready to go. Let's do this.
How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm tired, but I'm good.
You got a construction job.
I got a construction job. It worked. It was a long day today, but hey.
All right.
I'm getting paid.
Right. Cool. I'm glad someone is because I'm not. Paying him, not getting paid. Anyway, today we are talking, actually this whole month, we're talking about major songs with pop keys. And so today's the beginner lesson. We're talking about how to make pop songs pop. This is a thing called voicings. It's important because whenever we play music, the notes, the actual like chords and stuff that we play isn't nearly as important as how we play them. For example, if I play that sounds like, all right, decent, but it's not nearly as cool as like something like that, which is essentially the same notes. I'll show you how later. But voicing has to do with not the notes, the letters that you're playing, but where you place those letters. So anyway, that's what we're doing today. We're doing pop chord voicings. And basically, it's just to make you sound really cool. So let's get started. First thing we need to do is start building triads. If you haven't already done so, download the PDF, because that'll have all the information that you need for today. We're going to be dealing with major and minor triads. Now, a triad is 3 notes that we play all at the same time. So like that first thing that I showed you, that C and E and G, that's a C triad. Now, whenever you see a song, like you download the chords from the internet or something like that, or even if you go to Ultimate Guitar is a really popular place to get, I think it's ultimateguitar.com, it has like chords and stuff for pretty much every song in the world. Whenever you get chords, and you just see like a C, it just says play a C. That's not talking about just playing the note C, it's talking about actually building that major triad. Now, what I've done is I've given you every note that you need for every major triad that there is. So if you go over to the major column, we've got, ignore the 2 for right now, the 1, the 3, and the 5. And you can see if we're playing a C major, that's going to be C, and then we're going to ignore the 2 for right now. We're going to play the 3, which is an E, and then we're going to play a G, which we're calling the 5. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's 5 notes away from where we started. So that's the 1, that's the 3, that's the 5. So that's a C major triad. We'll talk about how to voice that in just a second. Let's jump over to an F major triad briefly. We're going to go down all the way on our PDF, all the way down to F. You can see it's the top of the screen right now. And that's built by taking an F. We're going to ignore the second one. We're going to go F and then the A, which is going to be right there, and then a C, which is going to be right there. So we've got an F, an A, and a C. That's an F major triad, or the way that you're going to see it on all your chord sheets is just the letter F. So that's an F, that's a C. That's an F, that's a C. So let's try this. Let's play C and count to 4, and then we're going to play an F and count to 4. And I'll count to 4 to start the whole thing off. So it'll go something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try that one more time. Now that you see how it's going to work. We're going to hold this for 4, then we're going to hold this for 4, and then we're going to go back and forth and back and forth. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So those are the major triads. Now, a minor triad's the exact same thing, only it's going to sound a lot scarier, depressed, sad, dark. Let's build one. So if we go over to the minor column on your PDF, we're going to go to a C minor. So here we go. We've got C. The next one, we're going to ignore the 2 for right now. We're going to move to the 3. It says E with a little like half a heart on a string, that's called a flat sign. That means that we're going to go to E, but we're not going to play a regular E. We're going to go down one note from E. So that's an E, that's an E flat right there. So we've got C, and then not E, but E flat, and then G. And I think that probably sounds kind of sad, scary, depressed, dark. And that's a minor chord. Every time you hear that sound, that dark sound, that's going to be a minor triad. So there we go. That's a C minor. Now this is going to be written out as a C and then a minus, or a C and then a lowercase m, or a C and then a lowercase m with a line over it. But it's not going to be just a regular old C. If you just see a C, they're talking about a C major. But if you see a C with a minus sign or something like that next to it, then that's going to be a C minor. So let's try that same thing. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Then let's go to the F minor. As you might have guessed, this was our F major. And just like on our C, we had this as our C. In order to get to the minor, we just took that 3 and we lowered it. That's the way you turn every major chord into every minor chord. So we have this major chord right here, the F major, with F, A, and C, just like we played a second ago. We're going to take that 3 and we're going to lower it to there. That is an F minor. It's built up with F and A flat and C. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to move from C for 4 counts to F minor for 4 counts. C minor to F minor. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. So you're probably wondering, like, does this ever happen that you just go back and forth between 2 chords? The answer is yes, all the time. All the time. I've got one song that's been very popular. It's a Beatles song that we're going to use to practice tonight, but there are lots of songs that just go back and forth between 2 chords. Usually the slower ones. The faster ones you're going to usually include like 3 or 4 chords. But if you got a slow song, there's a good chance it's only going to use a couple chords, and you're going to have plenty of time to switch between the chords. Now, there are, as you can see on this PDF, a lot of chords to practice. I mean, you've got 24 options here. There's 12 chords that are major, and then you can turn all those into minor by taking that 3 and lowering it. So there's a lot of practicing to be done for this. But for right now, we're just going to use the C and the F and go back and forth between those two. Here we go. So that's our C. 2, 3, 4. Back to C. 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2. Let's stop that. All right, so obviously that's might get a little boring after not very long. So what we're going to do to spice this up a little bit is to just play on every single one of those beats. So we're going to play 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, like that with the same song. Here we go. My mouse is going crazy on me. Here we go. Back to the C, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So there you go. There's some stuff you can do to liven up a little bit, but we still haven't even touched the voicings that I promised you, and that is turning this regular old triad into something cool. So the trick we're going to try tonight is adding in the 2. So we've got the 1, the 3, and the 5, and that 2 that we've been ignoring, we're going to add that in. So here we go. For a C major, we've got the C and the E and the G. However, we need to throw in that D right there. We're going to use all of those notes right there. So it sounds a little bit fuller than just the triad by itself. If we add in that 2, it kind of adds a little bit of like pop magic to it. So we're going to try the same song with that chord, and then we're going to take that F triad and throw in that note as well, that 2. So we've got the 1, the 2, the 3, and the 5. Here we go. All right, there we go. So now to use that same voicing, those same notes, with a different voicing, what we're going to do is just eliminate some notes. So out of these 3 notes, you pick any 2, and it's going to sound better than playing all 3 together. So we already tried playing those 2. So now let's combine the 2 with the 3, like that, and the 5, and not play the 1 at all. That'll be our 1 chord. So it's going to be the C chord, only it has no C in it. We're just kind of implying the C. And then the F is going to be, that was our 1, 2, 3, 5. We're going to take out the 1 and just play 2, 3, 5. And already, this sounds way better than back when we were playing those trads by themselves, like that. We've got like a real pop song here. In fact, this right here is almost exactly what is being played on the recording. Now we're going to get fancier with it in a second, but let's try that, the 2, the 3, and the 5, just those ones. So now let's substitute out, instead of the 2 and the 3 and the 5, let's try the 1 and the 2 and the 5. So that's our 1 chord, and then that's our F chord, back to our C chord, back to the F chord. Here we go. C, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4. Now, here's where it gets really fancy. If you're already kind of like that's a big challenge for you, then cool, just take that exact same thing that you did, the 2, the 3, and the 5, or the 1, the 2, and the 5, and then just practice those with all of the chords that are on there. I'll show you how to with the MP3 a little bit later. But anyway, moving on, if you're ready to go on to the next level, we're going to take the 2, the 3, and the 5, and we're going to play that on one of the beats, and then when we're not playing that one, we're going to play the note that we left off. So we're going to play the 2, the 3, and the 5, and not the 1, and then we're going to play not the 2 and the 3 and the 5, but the 1. So it'll sound like this. Then if we go to the F chord and do the same thing, and then the 1 chord. Now this sounds way better than those regular old triads that we were playing a second ago. If we've got that sounds pretty cool. So because I'm kind of tired of this progression in this song already, because I got a short attention span, I guess, let's move to the G chord. That's going to start on G, and we can go down to it on our PDF. It's going to be G, an A, a B, and a D. So you got, that's our chord. We're going to play like that, or any combination you can play, or however it is it fits into the song in your head. This is a song that just goes back and forth between the C and the G. This one's by John Mayer. it's just the C, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now at this point, you can do anything you want with the 1, the 2, and the 3, and the 5. So that right there, the 1, the 2, the 3, and the 5, pretty much at this point, you get to do anything that you want with it. Real quick, let me show you here what I was doing with my left hand, because it's really super simple and it adds a lot to it. Whatever the chord that we're on, I'm just playing that note in my right hand. So if we're on a G chord, I'm playing a G right here. And then when we go to the C, I'm just playing a C down here. Now, that's not quite gutsy enough for some parts of the song, and so I'm going to take that G down to here and play the C's down here. So then we get that's the C right there, and then all the way down to that G. And so if we play that along with good old Johnny Boy. Now, I'm playing it right here because that's where the close-up is, but you can play this chord anywhere that you think sounds good. So we can play the G, A, B, D down here, or up here, or up here. So you can see just with 2 chords back and forth, and then using this 1, 2, 3, 5 at different places, adding in a little bass, that's a whole big sound that could totally work for pretty much any pop song. The 1, the 2, the 3, and the 5. And then again, you've got not only, let me throw it over here to the PDF. You've got not only the major ones that you need to practice, but the minor ones, because what you don't want to have happen is for you to go to play a song, you've got the music sitting there in front of you, and it says C, and you're like, yeah, I know that one, that's cool, and then it says G, and you go to the G, and then it says A, and you go, oh, A, all right, so an A is right there, and then it's, I don't know, where's my PDF? So you're going to want to practice all of these chords all the way through, and that way, no matter what shows up, you can just jam with pretty much any song in the world. You just look up the chords for it, and then turn the song on, play those chords, and you've got all of these different 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 5 for any chord that you need to play. So anyway, that is, I think, the end of today's concepts. Again, tomorrow is the intermediate lesson, so we're going to move forward with this stuff. But if you've got any questions right now, please send those to my moderator, Nano, by putting it in the box below this video, and type in your first name so we know who's asking the question, and then type your question in. And while he's doing that, I want to show you our term of the day. On the feed or not?
I think you might have.
All right. Are we back now? We're live?
You're good. You're live. You're good.
All right. Wonderful. So today's term is going to be diatonic. So diatonic means the chords that are going to go inside of a key. So a key is a set of notes that we use for a song. So for example, the song we were just playing a second ago, what was it? Imagine by the Beatles. And so that was using all white notes, basically. So the chords that would be played with that song are all ones that use only white notes. So we'd be playing, for example, a C, like we did, an F, like we did, a G could come into there, a D minor, an A minor. So there's diatonic means that that chord is staying inside of the key. And for most songs, they're going to use only diatonic chords, which means you've got a group of chords that are all going to be used together. When we're in the key of C, you're going to see a lot of this and this and this. When we're in the key of G, like the other one is gravity, that goes back and forth between the G and the C, you're going to have to watch out because you're going to not use any Fs. You're going to use all F sharps. So you're not going to have any chord that goes like that because that note is not in that key. So the chord that you're probably going to use is that one right there. So you have that chord and 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 that chord. So anyway, diatonic means it's staying inside of the key. And I also want to show you real quick how to use the MP3 for this week. So, as I told you, you're going to need all of these chords at some point. And so what I've done is your MP3 plays through every single one of these chords in this order, in this circle order here, starting at the C, and after the C, it's going to go to the F. After the F, it's going to go to the B flat. After the B flat, it's going to go to the E flat. After the E flat, it's going to go to the A flat. A flat to D flat, D flat to G flat, all the way back around to G. Once it hits G, it's going to start on all the minor chords. Now, before we get to the minor chords, let's check out the major chords and see how that's exactly supposed to work. Here is the MP3 for this week. You're going to have a 4-beat click just like we did together. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we start. So check this out. 2, 3, 4. It starts on the F. I'm sorry. I got ahead of myself there. So we got a click. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and then it switches. Nope, it doesn't. Who made this anyway? Is that me? It must have been me. All right, so it's going to go for 4 sets of 4. Here we go. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Now it's time to switch to that next one over. This is the F. And so you can practice all of this stuff that we talked about today. After that's going to go to the B flat. So after that's going to switch to the E flat. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. After the E flat, it switches to the A flat. And practice those 1, 2, 3, 5, however it is that you want to. Just the only important part is that you decide ahead of time what you're going to do, and you don't just make it up as you're going. So you need to decide ahead of time, all right, I'm going to do this pattern here that goes, and take that through every single one of the chords that shows up. So you're going to do that for the C chord, and then you're going to do that for the F chord, and then you're going to do that for the B flat chord. And then later on, it's just like the 1, the 2, and the 5. And just do that 2, 3, 4, and then switch that to the F. So you get used to, the goal is for you to get very, very used to the 1, the 2, the 3, and the 5 in every possible chord, in every possible situation, and with every possible combination. So the 2, the 3, and the 5. So that when that chord comes up, you are automatically have in your head, like you've practiced this thing 5 different ways. So you got 5 different ways you can play this chord. So you're not playing every song with the exact same feel. So then, once it gets all the way through from the C to the F to the B flat to the E flat to the A flat, then it's going to go over to the minor chords, and it's going to use that same exact set of chords, but it's going to start on the A minor. So it's going to go from the A minor to the D minor to the G minor to the C minor, and then on through the circle. And once you get to the end of that, you've done every possible triad that's out there that is going to show up in your pop songs, every major and minor triad. So, and that's a lot. So and that way you're covered for every song that you want to play pretty much. So anyway, there you go. That's how you use your MP3. And now let's get to the questions. Nano.
Okay, so first one is from Bill, and he wants to know, his question is, how do I know if I'm supposed to add the 2 in?
Okay. You always can. You know what? For right now, just overuse it. Use it on every possible chord that you see anywhere. These are pop voicings, so you're going to see these show up a lot more frequently than in maybe some other styles of music. So if it's a pop, if it's a rock song, then just throw the 2 in anytime. And at some point, you'll hear a song and you'll play the 2 in there, and then it won't quite fit anymore. So it's kind of like your vocabulary. You learn a new word, you use it everywhere, and then you kind of get feedback about, oh, it really doesn't work there. You shouldn't have said it that way. And then you start using it less and less, and only using it in the appropriate places. So for right now, I'd say if you haven't played the 2 chords before, play them everywhere. Next question.
Okay, this next question is from PD. It's from the live chat. What about argumented chords? Are they in pop music too?
Augmented chords, probably?
Yes, augmented chords. There you go.
Yeah, not nearly as much. We talked about diatonic chords, chords that are showing up, the ones that are inside of the key. So you're not going to have any augmented chords that are going to be naturally inside of any of the keys. So, like for example, in the key of C, we've got all of these are our diatonic triads. So when in the key of C, these are the ones that we're most likely to use, and none of those are augmented chords. So likely you're not going to see one of those except in a very, very rare song.
Cool.
All right.
The next one comes from Susan.
Okay.
And she's asking, can I add the 2 if the chord is an inversion?
If the chord is in an inversion?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, except just keep in mind, here, let's go to this one. Keep in mind that, so an inversion for everybody else is when you're not playing the 1 and the 3 and the 5 in that order, but you're playing, for example, like the 3 and the 5 and the 1. And so if that was confusing, then just forget everything I'm about to say. But all you got to remember is that it's not the second note over from the left. That's the wrong way to do it. The 2 shows up right next to the 3, and this is the 3, whether it's in the middle, or whether it's on the bottom, or whether it's on the top. The 2 is always going to be the one right next to the 3. So if you're in an inversion, you got to find your 3, and then play the 2 off of that. And so yes, but be careful.
Cool.
Next question.
The last question comes from Alex, and he's wondering if there's other stuff he is supposed to do with his left hand while he's playing.
Okay. Yeah, I guess there's lots and lots of stuff that you can do with your left hand. One common thing to do with the left hand is, well, first of all, you could play these chords here, because you could like play the melody up here. And so play your song that way by doing a melody here with your right hand and then using the chords in your left hand. You can voice these chords down here differently too for more power, or a really common thing to do is like play a 1-5-1. But honestly, I mean, that goes on and on and on. That's like a whole other 3 lessons of what to do with the left hand. And today we're just specifically talking about how to add the 2 in and have it be appropriate. So yes, unfortunately, not enough time to go through all of them here. But if you are practicing playing that lowest note like we did today, on a C chord, playing a C here or a C here or a C here, or even doubling up, playing a couple of Cs, then you're going to be covered for most pop songs. And even though that's not the best way to play long term, that's the way most people are doing it right now. So it's really popular. You're going to be sounding like the people that you're probably listening to.
Very cool.
All right.
Cool. I like the left hand being mixed in there. It gives it more like oomph to me. I don't know. It sounds really cool.
Yeah. All right, cool. Is that our last question?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, next week we're going to be talking about creating piano covers. Again, tomorrow night's the intermediate lesson. So if you enjoyed this, or it felt like it was easy for you and you're ready to move on to the next step, I'll see you tomorrow night. Otherwise, practice this stuff with your MP3, go through all the chords, and I'll see you next week for creating piano covers. If you like this stuff, then tell a friend. If you don't, use the survey off to the whatever direction that is, and let us know what we could change to make it better for you. And we'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye.